Hey everyone, and welcome to another Make It Monday video. My name's Hayley and I am making a birthday card today. This one is going to go to my mum from the children. So we wanted it to be nice and fun and brightly coloured. And I really wanted to use some pattern paper as I've got so much in my stash and I rarely ever use it. So today I'm using the MFT Beary Special Birthday stamp, which I've stamped on to Bristol smooth cardstock with Memento Tuxedo black ink, as it's a nice Copics safe ink, and I'm colouring with Copics today. I have started off with E35, E33 and E11 to colour in my little bear, and I'm just going to set this bit to music and you can watch the colouring. See you in a sec. Now that the colouring's done, I'm going to use the coordinating die to cut him out with my Big Shot. Moving on to the rest of the card, I'm using a very old designer series paper pack from Stampin' Up. I was a demonstrator for Stampin' Up about 7 years ago and I still have all of my cardstock, all of my pattern paper from them, and I really need to use some of that stuff up. This cardstock is Stampin' Up's Regal Rose. I'm using my anti-static powder tool with the Circle Sayings stamps from Simon Says Stamp. This is a little circle of words. They've got multi different sayings in the set. This one is Happy Birthday. I'm stamping that with Versamark ink so that I get a clear impression that I can emboss. I'm using Ranger Liquid Platinum embossing powder, and by putting that anti-static powder on, it makes certain that I'm not going to have any of that embossing powder stick where I don't want it to. I'm going to heat set that with my heat tool, making sure that before I bring the tool to the cardstock, I've let it heat up as much as I can, so it just helps prevent that paper from warping. Just checking that all those elements fit together nicely, and then I'm going to die cut this sentiment piece with the Simon Says Stamp Nested Circles die. Moving on to that pattern piece of paper, I'm going to use some distress inks. This is in Picked Raspberry, just to bring some added colour to the outside of that circle. The card base is Stampin' Up's Pink Pirouette cardstock. I have cut a piece of A4 in half, scored it so that I've made a top folding card. I've used MFT's Blueprints 13 for their largest square, or their largest rectangle die, sorry, and that cuts me out a piece of pattern paper in this pink white polka dot that sits nicely on the back of my card with a nice little border around the outside. Then I've used some more pattern paper in this pack to cut out a flag, large flag, again from Blueprints 13. Adding all these elements together. I'm using Tombow multi-liquid glue. I still haven't bought any tape for my 3M dispenser. I might get around to that one day. I'm just starting to layer all of those pattern papers up. All of these pattern papers do come from the same designer series pack, so they all work very well together. You see the blue that I've got there to tie with the blue balloon and the blue ribbon that I've done on the little teddy bear there. The Blueprints dies are fabulous because they have all these little elements to go through. The one that I've got's got little circles and little banners and things, so I've done a few banners there with some of the extra patterns in the pack. And now I'm just going to stick everything down. I decided to have the circle overhanging ever so slightly so that you can see more of that blue flag piece there. Then I'm going to pop up the little bear on some 3M foam tape to give me a nice little bit of dimension. And apologies for the weird lighting, I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. I've got loads of lights, but for some reason it keeps dipping out even more. I'm going to have a check on my camera settings, I think, but I quite fancy getting one of the OT lights. Just trying to decide which one to go for, and hopefully that will give much better lighting with my videos. I actually craft in a room that's only got one small window, so I do have my desk right underneath it, but it's clearly not working as well as I'd hoped. So there's my little bear all stuck up on his tape. I'm using the Wink of Stella clear glitter brush pen to add a bit of shimmer to the balloon. I've done the bear's nose in a black gel pen to make it a little bit more a little bit more shiny. And then I've just trimmed off the edge of that circle that's overhanging onto the card base. Onto the inside of the card, and I've taken the small stack of parcels that comes with the Very Special Birthday stamp set and Distress Oxide ink in Worn Lipstick, and I'm just going to stamp along the bottom of the card base a few of these presents. I don't own any of the Stampin' Up inks anymore. I actually passed those on to my mum as I just wasn't using them. My go-to now is my Distress inks or my Distress Oxide, so I sent them to a home where they would be used more often. Final finishing touches, I've gone for the Tonic Studios Nouveau Crystal Drops. This is in Ivory Seashell. And that pretty much brings me to the end of this card. I had fun making this one. I'm going to use the designer series paper and my other pattern papers more often, I think. That's pretty much it. Hope you've enjoyed the card today. I look forward to seeing you all next week. I'm going to switch it up a little bit next week and make a couple of alternative Valentine's cards that I'm going to give to the boys. So until then, happy crafting, and we'll see you soon.